Welcome to Tips with Andrew. I am Andrew Sapiano. Thank you so much for joining me on this happy Friday. Happy Friday. We made it. Yes. I hope you guys had an awesome week so far. Rocked out whatever goals, hopes, plans, dreams, ambitions you had and made it happen. Now you are currently ready to rest and restore on the weekend. Get ready for another tough week ahead next week. A couple quick updates before we get started here. I have launched officially a weight loss course for beginners. It is an online digital course for download. Discover 5 little known secrets on how to lose weight. If you or somebody you know of is interested in dropping a few pounds, learning different strategies, hidden techniques that I've come up with, definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message. The year is officially winding down now, right? So there's so many things coming up, Christmas parties, Christmas pictures, New Year's parties, New Year's resolutions. So definitely now is going to be the time where everybody is interested in looking their peak form. So reach out to me. There's tons of cool stuff that comes along with the initial launch, and I'm super excited to get it out there into the universe for the world to consume. I know it's going to rock out everybody. Next, the free product of the month this month, up until the 15th of November we are November already. I just had to step back and think about that for a second. It's actually laurel leaf oil, which is the prominent oil in the Easy Air blend, the respiratory blend. Laurel leaf oil is good for cleaning. One of its main chemical constituents is eucalyptol, which is highly cleansing. It is gentle enough to be used to help cleanse the skin, yet powerful enough to be used as a refreshing surface cleanser. Wow. Laurel leaf oil is also soothing to the skin. Used topically with a massage, it offers a soothing and relaxing experience. Laurel leaf essential oil also reduces the appearance of blemishes and promotes clear, healthy looking complexion. Wow, that's an amazing oil. I didn't actually know really any of that. I use the laurel leaf in the Easy Air to help open up my airways to allow for clear breathing. So it's kind of a double whammy in that aspect. So if you or somebody you know of is interested in free stuff, definitely reach out to me and I will get you rocking and rolling. Next, 15% off Douglas fir this month. I believe that's the whole month. And that one's actually really cool because normally they only do 10% off of the products of the month. So this month they're doing 15% off, which is amazing. Douglas fir is actually a wicked oil. Oh, Muhammad M. Rosie 78. Hey man, what's happening? Thank you for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. I hope you get some value out of this. We're talking, actually, just a couple quick updates before we get started here. Douglas fir is actually a great oil to use. It's a woodsy oil, so it's nice, calming, relaxing. I actually like using this one in a diffuser at nighttime to help promote that relaxing environment that is perfect for not only getting to sleep but staying asleep throughout the night. That's really where a lot of people have problems, not really getting to sleep but staying asleep the whole night. So that's why I love using the Douglas fir. You can also use a drop on your pillow. Real quick, essential oils at the very base of it are volatile aromatic compounds, which all that means is that they switch states from a liquid to a gas very quickly. So before they stain your pillow, they will actually evaporate. Does it work for asthma? Actually, kind of, yes. What it does is it helps to open up your airways to allow for clear breathing, so it supports healthy breathing, your lung muscles being healthy in that aspect. So where it's not going to fix quote unquote your asthma, it's going to help your muscles work. It's going to support your natural respiratory system to help allow for the clear breathing. I know sometimes asthma attacks can be really detrimental to the respiratory system, can really hurt your breathing sometimes. I don't actually know too much about that, but that's just a general idea of what I do know, is that it helps to support your body's natural breathing aspects, I guess, if you will, operations, for lack of a better term. So Douglas fir is actually a woodsy oil, so I mean, talk about how when you're walking through the forest, right, how you can and it kind of opens up your airways and you can breathe a little bit better. Lastly, 20% off select enrollment collections. If you or somebody you know of has been interested in or is interested in, essential oils, reducing the toxic load in your lifestyle, how to live a more natural, alternative, holistic lifestyle, this is definitely the time for you to get started. 20% off enrollment collections, right? So if there's ever a time to get started, it's when you can save yourself a little bit of money. So definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message, and I'll definitely get you the deets on how to get enrolled, how to get the most bang for your buck, and how to rock out your essential oil journey the way that I have. All right, we're gonna take a quick breath, just a deep breath to compose ourselves a little bit over here. All right, I'm telling you, there's so much more going on over here. What a great time to be alive. I love it. Oh, and it's November. Oh my goodness, almost December, almost Christmas time, almost the end of the year. Cheese and rice. All right, cool. So let's get into today's topic. What I wanted to talk about today was, actually yesterday we talked a little bit how to go the extra mile, right? Put that effort back into your work, into your life. Today, that's actually what I wanted to talk. Time flies. Yes, it does. It really does. I can't even believe that it's almost the end of the year. Actually, I mean, theoretically, it's almost the end of 2021. I can remember yesterday when it was March 2020, and we shut down and everything, and and that was crazy. And now we're almost 2 years later from the big shutdown that we had. So yes, you are correct. Time flies. Normally it flies when you're having fun. I don't know how much fun has been had over the last couple of years, but fun is all a matter of perspective, I guess. So what I wanted to talk today a little bit about was how to put some passion back into your life. How to get really passionate about, your work, your relationships, your friendships, your, whatever you've got going on. There's really something that, it's really one of those things where it feels like work. If you're not passionate about it, if you're not having fun in it, if you're just kind of going through the motions, it really feels like work, right? If you were to do, right, a hobby or something on the side, right? If you have to work at it, if it feels like work, it's definitely not going to be very fun for you, because we go to work all day, every day basically, and the last thing we want to do when we come home is more work, right? So that's where we need to try and find a little bit of passion behind our work, a little bit, more, how to, for lack of a better term, have a little bit more fun in life. We just talked about it not being the most fun time in life, but that's all a matter of perspective, right? So what I've got here is some tips on how I live sort of a passionate lifestyle, how I was able to bring some of the passion back into my life, because it is, right? We go through ebbs and flows of our life all the time. Times are good, times are bad, right? The song goes, tough times don't last, tough people do. So right, things go good, things go bad all the time, right? And it's all, life is a natural ebb and flow. So that's why we need to just realize what's happening, right? And understand that either this is something that we want to continue to happen, because this is, if nothing changes, or, nothing changes if nothing changes, or we do want to put that effort in and change a little bit here and there so that we can live, a life that we're more proud of, a life that we're proud to leave behind, a life that we're proud to tell people about, that we're proud to have people in, right? So I don't know, here it goes, right? I got some tips that help me. Hopefully they help you too, right? Hopefully you get some value out of this. Who knows, maybe add one of these two into your life, and come back and let me know how it works out for you. So the number one thing you need to do more than anything to bring passion back in your life, start living a life that you really are proud of, ditch the negatives. The number one thing you need to do is ditch the negatives, whether it be negative people, negative thought processes, negative stuff on the TV, negative ideas on your news feed that when you scroll through Facebook, or when you get notifications popping up on your phone or whatever, right? I get it. I really get it, because drama happens with negativity. And if you don't if you don't have a little bit of drama going on in your life, chances are you're kind of bored and you're looking for drama. So that's where we need, and really what happens, right? The newscast is full of, they make millions upon millions of dollars feeding us, negative news. We thrive off of the negative news, feeding us what's going on, what's bad happening in the world. Because people more care about what's bad happening in the world than they do about what's good, right? I mean, there's so many cases of stuff that's happening that's good out in the world, that people are doing good, but all that's coming up on our news feed over here in Toronto is how some girl threw a chair off of the balcony, and it went on the highway, the 401 or whatever the highway is out there. So, right, there's so much good happening in the world, and then the one story that we are more focused on than anything is how this girl threw a chair out a window. I mean, that's terrible, right? But that's what makes news, and that's what gets people talking. That's what, drums up drama. Yeah, right? That's basically what I say. That, the face that is like, I don't even know, right? It is what it is. But if we want to live a life of passion, right? We can't live a life of passion. We can't be happy. We can't really be fully with it if we're constantly, looking on the negative side of things. If we're constantly thinking how bad stuff is going to be. If we're constantly thinking how, we aren't good enough, or how we need to be better, or how, I can't possibly do any of this because who am I to do anything, right? That's, it's so much easier for us as people to be negative. It's really weird because, we, as much as we can be our biggest cheerleaders ourselves, we can be our worst critics, and we can be the worst to ourselves. Me, I know that for a fact. Always look for yes. I love that. I love that, Mohammed. Thank you so much for that input. Always look for yes. Yes, 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 yes. Always yes. There is always yes in something. And that's where we need to push our, we need to pump ourselves up as much as we can be our biggest cheerleaders, and we can really, agree with stuff that we say, and we can kind of give ourselves, that the benefit of the doubt, and we can be a little bit, nicer to ourselves and other people. We can be real mean to ourselves, and we can be very detrimental to our health, and we can be very much on the, yeah, okay, you did this, but you should have done that type of thinking, or yeah, okay, you did this, but you could have done better, or yeah, okay, you made 100 sales last week in your business, but you could have made 150, or there's so many things. It's so much easier for us to think negative than to think positive, and that's why most of the world is run off of negativity and negative news, negative culture, right? So if you want to bring passion back in your life, live a life that you can be proud of, live a life that you have fun with, you got to ditch the negatives and start looking for positives. As Muhammad says, look for yes. Don't look for no. Number 2, stop overthinking. Don't stop thinking. Stop overthinking, right? You know it. You already know what I'm talking about when I say overthinking, because there is, right? You start thinking about something. Just a side note, right? I'm part of a fantasy football league right now. And to say that, you overthink every decision in your life is the understatement of the world, because, it's just fantasy land, right? But we are tied to the real football, right? The real NFL. So the way that those players do, that affects our team in fantasy land, right? So for us, we need to make the decisions, and I can promise you, I'm glad I'm not a regular general manager, because I pick wrong a lot of times, right? So that's where you need to just stop overthinking. Know that you know what you're doing. Know that you know what you want in life. Or if you don't know, definitely figure it out, but don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Also, stop comparing yourselves to others, right? If you want to live a life of passion, a life that you can be proud of, you need to stop comparing yourself to others. You need to stop overthinking about everything that you're doing and trying to compare yourself with others. And you just need to know that what you're doing is pushing yourself on the right track. You don't know what you don't know. And really, one of the things that I learned more than anything was life is just really, trial and error, trying things and seeing if they work. If they work, great, stick with that. If they don't work, maybe try something different. I don't know. It's your life, not mine. You can do whatever you want. But what you need to do is just pick a decision and stick with it, right? Don't overthink it. You already know, trust your gut, right? Your gut feeling, that's going to be one of the best things that you can rely on in your life, regardless of any thought process that you have. If you've got a gut feeling about something, chances are, more often than not, that's the way to go. Because there's a saying that I love bringing up all the time is trust the process, right? If you trust the process, your process will normally, more often than not, lead you to a gut feeling, right? And when you get that gut feeling, you go with it and you're like, I really don't know about this one. But if you just go with your gut feeling as opposed to start thinking about it and then overthinking, overanalyzing, you start, really getting up in your head, and then, you can't really have fun if you're just overthinking everything. You can't be passionate about anything if you're overthinking everything and you're never making a decision and you're constantly wondering, is this good? Is this bad? Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but what if I do this? But, if I go this way, and then, see what I mean, right? We could just laundry list of things down the line of, what could possibly go wrong, what could go right? So one of the things that I love doing more than anything with decisions, right? Make a decision and then decide for yourself if you're wrong, right? If this is the wrong decision, what's next, right? Is life over? Maybe if your decision is to jump in front of a moving truck, then, probably don't, right? But other than that, right, there's no real decision in your life that's gonna cause you life or death, harm, right? So there's no worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is it doesn't work, right? And you're just back to square one. No matter what, right? If you're trying to do a side business, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to gain weight, maybe, I don't know. If you're trying to, change your healthy eating habits, right? If you're trying to, get a better relationship with your significant other or your family or whatever, right? You need to just pick a decision, go with it. Understand that this is your gut feeling, right? As soon as you make a decision, that's your gut feeling. That's your gut telling you to go with that. And then if it's wrong, right, we just try it again. We try a different way, right? We realize what we did and we try a different thought process. We don't overthink everything. We don't overanalyze everything. We just go. And then if it works, great. If not, try again. Number 3, have a you day. A day just for yourself, whether this be a spa day, right, where you go out and you get a nice massage, maybe a nice manicure, pedicure. If you don't get manicures and pedicures, you are missing out. I promise you. Maybe you want to take yourself out, or maybe you want to go out for dinner. Maybe you want to go to some sort of sporting event, maybe a music event, right? Whatever's happening, whatever helps you to feel rested and at ease and calm and like you are ready to take on the world. If that's, some people I've heard they go to the gym, right? And they just work out until they feel happy again. Other people, they go for a walk and they just really realize that this is the way that they need to, this is how they need to calm themselves down. I can tell you 100% that right now, looking outside with the nice sun coming down and there's no clouds in the skies, it's that, nice cold temperature, but the sun's beating down, so it's, not too cold and not too hot all at once. That's a great day right there. Just to look out, you've got the fall trees, you've got, the leaves changing colors. That's a great day. Right now, I can tell you that, I am calm and relaxed just by looking outside. And that's, that's just by looking at it, right? So decide what is a you day for you. I just gave you a few options right there. Doesn't have to be one of those. If you don't know what makes you happy, I suggest that you find out, because that's a cool exercise in itself, right? Maybe you think of things that you never even thought of, right? You start with a quick Google search, right? What do people like? And then you go from there, right? You're obviously not going to like everything that everybody else likes, nor are you going to hate everything else that everybody hates, right? So it's kind of a balance that you need to do, right? But when you figure out what makes you happy and you can go back to that and you can use that as like a baseline, that's going to be great for your, your overall progression with your wellness, with your life, with your future, right? Anytime you can, and you need to have a you day. And I put this in here for a specific reason, because now This is my thought process behind it. You have a completely different thought process, and if you don't like this one, you are more than welcome to that. For me, Bill Gates, I read a thing that said Bill Gates takes, I don't know, a week or a month or, I don't know, a year, whatever, on his private island to just get away from the daily hustle and bustle of life and give himself a chance to calm down and, reprocess his thought process, right? So for me, Bill Gates is one of the richest people in the world. And if he says that every once in a while you need to take a break and just kind of let yourself relax and just kind of let your brain reset, I kind of take that thing to heart, right? If one of the richest people in the world tells me that you don't have to be going all the time, you actually need to rest and reset because it's good for your overall wellness, I take note, right? So if you don't think that taking a break is good for your health and you think that you constantly need to be going all day, every day, never taking 1 minute to yourself, that's you. You do you, boo. And you tell me that, my tip didn't do nothing for your life and you needed to be constantly going every second of every day or else you felt like a complete failure. That is what it is. I can promise you that no matter the way you feel about what I just said, there is people that think exactly like that. Number 4, keep a journal. This is one that I actually learned more than anything throughout the last year and a little bit, throughout the pandemic that we had, was as a way to, put my thoughts on paper, as a way to get outside of my head, as a way to, just realize what was going on in my life. Because, I mentioned this earlier, you don't know what you don't know. And you can get so caught up in your head. That's me. I get so caught up in my head that, I honestly, sometimes I can't even see straight. Because I'm just, so much going on in my head that I'm thinking so much and I need to just brain dump, right? Get everything out of my head. Because I did learn something that, your brain can only hold so much, right? And it only holds relevant information, it only brings forward to you relevant information to your specific life, right? So if you're trying to hold a whole bunch of stuff in there, eventually it's like a cup, right? Think about a cup with water. It's going to overflow if you just keep adding to it. You got to subtract some from it in order to add more, right? So that's to me what a journal is for my thoughts. I can just take my whole thought process, put it down on paper. Now, when I say journal, I'm talking me putting it down on paper. Journaling does not have to be on paper. Vlogging is a new great way to keep a journal. You just put yourself on camera right like this, talk about how your day went, talk about how your life's going, talk about your goals, hopes, plans, dreams, ambitions, all that stuff. And I actually feel like that would be better because my hand gets really tired from writing and my arm gets crimped up and all that stuff. You can tell I don't write a lot, or you can't, but I can. But that's what I mean, right? Get out of your head, because if you want to live a life of passion, if you want to have things be different than they are right now, you need to realize what's going on in your life right now. And you need to also understand what kind of changes you want to make. And as well as understanding that you're not going to be able to change everything all at once. You need to start with little changes here and there, because there is a saying, and I promise you this is for real, that old habits die hard. And your brain will eventually revert you back to things that you enjoyed before your, big motivational, new life change that you were looking for. Because your brain I just mentioned this, right? Your brain can only handle so much. And it's not even that your brain, it's you as a person can only handle so much that your brain is going on. I don't even know, but I heard something that the amount of functions that your brain does on a day, if you were to count them out, it would take you like 50 years to write the amount of zeros. That is how many actions your brain is taking on a regular basis. Now, for me, I'm not a brain doctor, so I don't know, but even if that's half true, that's a lot of stuff that's going on in your head. And that's a lot of information that you're going to have to sift and sort through at any moment in time. That's why I put it down on paper. So at least, come a later on time in life where I need to know what happened, or even even as a way to look back on my progress and see if I'm actually making any progress. That's what the journal's great for, because you put down what's going on in your life now, and when you come back to it to put down again what's going on in your life, you see what you wrote before, so you can see if you're making progress or if something needs to change, right? You don't know what you don't know, so put it down on paper, and that way you can know when you come back to it. Number 5, think positively. Think positively about your future, about your life, about what's happening in it. Because I started this off with ditch the negatives, and this is something that you can really think of. You can follow me along right here, right? If you're going to a new job, right? Let's just talk about this. You're going to a new job and you think that this is going to be the worst possible place that you could ever work. You think that the people are going to be horrible. You think that, the drive is going to be brutal. I am going to hate waking up in the morning. I am going to feel so good when I am back at home. This is going to be the worst possible decision that I could ever make in my life. How good of a job do you think you're going to do or have or be? Right? I don't know. That doesn't sound like that's going to be a very fun time at all, if that's the way that you're thinking about it. So, let's reframe that, right? I think that this is going to be the best possible job that I could ever have in my life. This company is going to be so happy that they hired me. They are going to be so proud that, they made me a representative of their company. The people that I work with are going to be awesome. They're going to love me. My energy is going to flow, right? You can see the difference. I can feel the difference just by talking about it. I can feel, this job over here sounds like it's going to be real cool. This job over here sounds like it's going to be a nightmare. And that's the way that we think more often than not, right? When we're going through our progressions, if you will, in our brain, that's the way that it's easier for us to think that everything is going to be brutal, that the world is crumbling around us, that, everybody hates us, and, they think that we kick puppies. Versus thinking that you're awesome. Right? You can do it. You can be whatever you want. Whatever's happening in your life is happening for you, not to you. Things don't always last. I mentioned a quote before. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. And as long as you're thinking that you can get through it, and as long as you're thinking positively about your future, and thinking that, in the future is going to be so much greater than it is right now, chances are it's going to be easier for you to get to that positive space in your mind, as opposed to just thinking that life is terrible, life is so hard, everybody hates me, in the future it's going to be worse, I'm going to have no money, I'm going to have no kids, I'm going to have no wife, right? And you can just go down that rabbit hole. And it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole. That's why we need to train ourselves to think positively. Because when we think positively, we release those chemicals in our brain, those feel-good chemicals, the dopamine, the serotonin, letting us know that we are actually in a good mood, right? When we release those chemicals, that's our brain telling us that we're in a good mood. That's us telling our brain that we're in a good mood. So when we're thinking positively, we tend to be in a better mood. When we think negatively, we tend to be in a worse mood, right? So think positively, and this is definitely one of those things where if you think positively all the time and bad stuff still happens to you always, definitely come back here and tell me how thinking positively made no difference in your life, and your life is the worst thing in the world, and I would love to hear that story behind that. My last tip, more than anything, is essential oils. And I actually have a blend here, perfect, called Passion. And I actually love doTERRA for this because you can kind of tell what the blends are used for based off of their name. And passion, right? When you're trying to find some passion, when you're trying to put passion back in your life, when you're trying to really, love what you do, and you need to have a little bit more motivation in your life. That's why I love using this. I love using this one actually in a roller form because it's got the roller top just like this, and I can roll it on my pulse points, right, like that. I can use it on my collar so I can have it for me all day. I actually like using that one. It's nice and calming, relaxing. Another oil that I have here is bergamot. And bergamot oil is actually known as the oil of self-love. And this one I use for a specific reason, because when we're trying to think positively, when we're trying to be more passionate, when we're trying to, live a different life, when we're trying to be a better person, we need to have some self-love. I mentioned how hard we can be on ourselves and how much easier it is to be hard on ourselves and to not give ourselves any sort of break at all. That's why we need an oil like bergamot to help with to promote some self-love in our lives, right? To understand that, life's hard. And the fact that we keep on keeping on in the face of everything and we keep going, that right there is a pat on the back right there. You need to give yourself a pat on the back right now because you're awesome. And the fact that you keep going is even, that's even more awesome. And that's, a lot of people won't do that. And that's why that's cause for celebration, at least if nothing else. So that's all I got for you for today. I really hope you enjoyed this. I know I had some fun making it. Feel free to share this with your friends, a family member, perhaps somebody from your team that you feel needs to hear this. If you'd like to learn more about essential oils or how to get your hands on some of this cool stuff that I'm talking about, or if you'd like a free sample of oils just to get your hands on a little taste tester before you make a full-on commitment, definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message saying me, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and an even better weekend. And I look very forward to talking to you again. I love you guys. Bye for now.